Hey guys, how y'all doing? I'm here to give you guys a recap of the new chapter of Nanatsu no Taizai, or you can call it the 7 Deadly Sins, on chapter 252. Now, this chapter right here is pretty cool, and it looks like to me it reveals maybe part of the reason why Ludishel and possibly the other archangels along with the goddess clan really hate the demon clan for what they did. And I'm pretty sure that person might have been behind it all, but we'll have to see from here on out. So if anything else, let's go. We have to it that Elizabeth and Batra end up having a little small talk about how they reminisce about a tree that Elizabeth was on, and they end up having to talk to each other a little bit longer as father and daughter, and it was very emotional. But you know I'm pretty sure what breaks other people's hearts right now, depending how you look at it, if you read the chapter or not, is Batra crying about Elizabeth and Meliodas' curse. And he does not want to believe it. He does not want to even think about it, but it's too late. But he also tells Elizabeth, I want you to return to me along with Margaret, okay? I care for you so much. And we had to it that Elizabeth hugs Batra and apologizes to her father, which she's not really her father, by saying, I'm sorry I was never such a model of a daughter, but please, just for 2 more days left, let me be your daughter a little bit longer. I'm thinking my mind freaking hell. This really breaks my heart. And there is a scene between Griomar and Dreyfus talking to each other about a couple things here and there, especially when Griomar is happy to see that they're okay, but Griomar asked a serious question about Margaret being possessed by the goddess clan, and Dreyfus confirms it to his son. When it comes to them talking to each other and maybe talking about going up against the demon clan with the goddesses right now, Dreyfus was actually concerned about for the demon clan maybe alone. I mean, he's not really saying it explicitly, but he's doing so indirectly in a certain way. I mean, he says it's not we should support the demon clan or anything, but I guess he's trying to say I guess some demons have a change of heart eventually, but I guess Dreyfus couldn't say that when he got knocked out. We had to it that everyone is actually being happy to see the 4 archangels, and Hendrickson asks Ludishel to address them, and he tells and Ludishel in Margaret's body says, we have awakened from our slumber for 3,000 years to see this holy war to its end. We will never ever hand over Britannia to the demon clan. We 4 archangels will not fail lead stigma to victory. And we have to it that Hendrickson actually asked a question, which is pretty something that everyone that I'm pretty sure a lot of audience members want to know too. That's I know you guys are the 4 archangels, but where is the other one? And Ludishel, Serial, and Tarmiel look at him in total anger and with great disgust by saying, did you really have to freaking ask that? And Hendrickson's like, oh my gosh. And we have to it that one of them, I think one of the Knights of Desir or something, of the Pleiades of the Azure Sky, ends up having to talk to the goddesses, and we have to it that Death Pierce of the Pleiades of the Azure Sky, along with Deldry, ends up having a small talk with them, and they end up saying that, but for the rest of us, that's the last thing we ever want to do. We don't want to join you guys, because we have to it that Hendrickson says, hey, Death Pierce, how can you be so rude? Apologize immediately. But Death Pierce says, Death Pierce was trying to talk to the 4 archangels and says, we were saved by we all been saved by you, but Sir Denzo, he met a tragic end, had to give his body over to the goddess clan. And we have to it that Ludishel says, so that human who hosted the soul of Narabasa, wasn't it? I believe it was a blood relative of the vessel. It is regrettable. And Death Pierce is like, how could you say all that, huh? Do the goddesses shed no blood nor tears about this matter? Of course, Death Pierce was really angered by this, because it looks like Ludishel is not really showing anything right now. But it looks like to me he is actually crying, but many commenters or many people who read this chapter believe he's just faking it. But Ludishel says, we actually sacrificed so many that we are unable to keep count. Even as our bodies are burning up, the feeling of those we lost is really precious to us, and we are not gods, We are not beasts with blood and tears, just like yourselves. But if you can still not trust us, then I do not mind. But at the very least, and we have to it that Ludoshel ends up giving Death Pierce and the other Azure Knights called Breath of Bliss, like giving them some kind of power that's really comforting, warm light, and they actually have a power overflowing in their body. And we have to it that Ludoshel says, even if you are not our allies, at least let me bestow a gift to our good neighbors. It should prove useful should you encounter with the fight with the demons. And we have to it that Death Pierce was actually happy about this and says, I'm sorry, it seems I misunderstood the Goddess Clan. Let us take vengeance for the precious ones we lost together. And Ludoshel and Margaret's body smiles happily after seeing that Death Pierce, after reluctantly, Death Pierce did not want to join Stigma because of what happened after telling Ludoshel what happens, but after Ludoshel hearing what his reasonings are, he ends up giving him a blessing, and then Death Pierce decides to join up with Stigma. And Ludoshel decides to answer the question to Hendrickson by saying, the other one doesn't exist anymore. The answer to your question from earlier when you asked me, where is the other one? Which is what a lot of people wanted to speculate, where is the fourth Archangel? However, it is revealed later at the last page of this chapter is that the fourth Archangel was Mal, and he was actually killed by the 10 Commandments, shockingly. And the killer is actually Estarossa himself. So what the message also played off is their hatred for the Demon Clan stems from one of their comrades being killed. Lurking behind the 10 Commandments is Estarossa. So it looks like to me, I guess the Goddess Clan has a big reason to maybe hate the Demon Clan because they killed one of their comrades, I guess. But I do not really know about that entirely, because if you guys could look back to the 3,000 years wars of the past a long, long time ago, I mean, Dian and King that were part of the trial to go into the Holy War 3,000 years ago, you guys, just a reminder, would know that Mel was called by Ludoshel, and when Ludoshel tried to contact Neuroblaster or something. I forgot what chapter it was, but I remember Ludoshel was trying to contact Neuroblaster to get Mal to come to us because we need his help, etc. But I'm pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. I mean, I don't remember what chapter it was, but all I know is it looks like to me Mal just gotten killed or something. That's for sure. That's all I can really say for the time being. But the only question I asked is how strong was the guy? Because many and all of us were speculating that he was the strongest Archangel there is, and he was built up. But I don't know why, he's just gotten killed off right now by Estarossa. I don't know how the fight went, but guess we'll have to find out. I hope Nakaba-sensei, which my friend always calls him, which he's a big fan of Taizai, will give us a more of an explanation. But apparently the next chapter is called Fallen from Grace. So there might be a possibility that we might see a flashback, hopefully. So until then, I'll see you guys in my next video. So I'm Alpha Zero, people. Have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time, alright? Peace out. Bye-bye. Toodaloo!